Hello, Stefania. How art thou happy? Funky Friday.
Yes, I'm very happy today. I'm very
Yeah,
happy. I woke up happy. I woke
awesome.
up happy, but I also made a decision that I was going to be just stepping into my joy and happiness today.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just
Yes,
because I can and I get to
yes.
choose, right? We all get to
Yep,
choose.
right. Yes, yes.
So
Always
welcome
get to choose.
everybody. Welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
welcome to Fun
One
Fresh.
Fresh Friday.
Drum roll. We need to get an intro music or
We
something.
do.
I
We
think
do. Yeah.
this our own drum roll thing isn't working anymore, I don't think.
No, it isn't. It isn't. So, but yeah, we need an intro so that we can be in the background, be like chatting for a little bit, and then come back. Oh, hi.
Yeah, like we've just connected now. No, we had a 3-minute chat before, 3-4-minute chat before we hopped on, didn't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
And we're discussing our attire. I
Yes,
said, "Is it really cold there? You're in your turtleneck, Zanetta."
yes, yes.
It
It's
is.
cold. It's in the 40s. It got pretty low, almost in the 30s. So,
Mhm.
yeah. I think it turned out to be okay, but it was cold. It was
Right.
cold. Yeah.
But we got some warm weather in the last couple of days, and yesterday was just sweltering. It was like hot, windy, overcast. Like it just
Mm.
felt like you were stepping into a oven when you stepped outside. So
Wow.
I didn't go out. Did I go out? No, I did go out. Had to take my mum to an appointment to the podiatrist and just zoomed back in and closed all the doors, as you do when it's so hot like that. In
Yeah.
Australia, we get those hot spells, and
Mm.
yeah, but it's a bit cooler today, but it's still muggy. You know that muggy
Yeah.
humidity heat you get.
Yeah.
So yes, so today,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have a shout out to anyone by any chance? We haven't done shout
Hmm.
outs in a
Oh,
while. Did
I
you
want
shout out?
to shout out to my good friend Nina.
Mm.
Hello, Nina. Yeah,
Hello,
so
Nina.
yeah, she has been, she's a new follower, and
Mhm.
she's been faithful. So yeah, and she checks out the replay when she's not able, but yeah, she's engaging. She yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
good friend.
Welcome. She
Hello,
might be
Nina.
popping on because she usually comes on every week, doesn't she? Even if she
Yeah,
pops
it
in a little
seems like
later.
it. Yeah.
Great. Well, I want to have a shout out to everybody. I just want to shout out to everybody today. Everybody.
Hello.
Because today I think it just does kind of like touch on everybody because it's something that I think we all experience or
Mm-hmm.
we're being told to step into.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if you haven't read the topic title, I will share it with you.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And ta-da, drum roll. Yes, thank you, Zanetta.
You're welcome.
And it's about being comfortable with yourself. How to be
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Have you been told, be yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And why is it so uncomfortable to actually be yourself?
Mm.
I mean, really, we're being ourselves. We kind of say, well, this is me. I've always been like this, or you get a lot of statements like that. But why is it uncomfortable to just be yourself?
Mm. Mm. I have.
When really we hear it all the time and we have our besties say, just be yourself. We grew up hearing it from our parents,
Mm-hmm.
particularly your mother, but she'd like give you the little talk before you went to school.
Yeah.
And
You
before
better
we
behave yourself.
and
Yeah.
be yourself. Or, I remember when did you have show and tell? Did you call it show and tell? at
Yes.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, every morning we used to. This was in early primary school, obviously, and we used to get up in front of the class and have to show and tell something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was every morning or once a week, like the Monday, the beginning of the week, we had
Mm.
assembly, and we'd get all like jittery
Jittery.
and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, feeling uncomfortable and oh my God. And yet you're so excited to share this show and tell because it was just so important to you, or it gave you
Right.
such an amazing feeling. It gave you, you wanted to be proud and you wanted to show off to say, hey, look what I got, or look what I found, or look whatever. And we started, it all started there because we were in
Mm.
front of crowds, we were in front of, the classroom, we were getting uncomfortable. We were taken out of our
Mm.
comfort zone and be in a zone that was unfamiliar. Even though we had to do it every week, we
Right.
still feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of did a little research about it because I won't lie. I won't lie because I don't like
I
lying.
hope. I
I'm
hope
going
you
to be
don't.
really honest here. And this is something that I've had to really step into of late. Just be
Mm.
yourself, Stefania. Actually, you've even told me, Sinette, oh, well, of late, like, just be yourself.
Yeah.
What does she mean, be yourself? Like, my mum's even said it, just be yourself. Of late, she says the same thing. And I'm like, why is it so hard to be myself? Like, I'm all grown up and I've been with myself so many years. And I honestly, I kind of broke it
Yeah.
down like that.
Yeah.
I brainstormed, or what, it's not even a brainstorm, it's what I call a thought loop process where I write things down and then loop it round as to why the outcome is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did break it down is because as much as, we think we know ourselves, really know ourselves, I don't think we do. There, I've just put it out there.
It's like you had an epiphany. We really
I
don't know
did,
ourselves.
yes. And, there's a lot of us out there just working and working on ourselves and taking on different programs and investigating this and going down that road to work out this program and how our paradigms are all, you know, compartmentalized in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And yet just being ourselves is just so difficult and uncomfortable. So when do we grow out of this? I said, when do we grow out of this? When do we grow out of this being uncomfortable
Mm-hmm.
of being yourself?
Mm. It's like what you said this morning. You said you woke up happy because you decided to be happy. It's just well, yeah. When you going to that decision is the journey. You get to the point of, you know what? Forget about everybody else. If they like me, they like me. If they don't, okay, who cares? Yeah. Yeah. So when you get to that point of that journey of getting to the point of making a decision that I'm going to be myself, I'm going to be myself. Yeah.
But how do we get to that decision? And
Mm.
I know you, Zanetta Wooden,
Mm.
is an expert at being yourself and saying, that doesn't worry me. She doesn't worry me. That whole situation doesn't even ruffle my feathers. Your feathers don't get ruffled. So
Oh,
please
they
share.
they
Oh, they
do.
do get ruffled? They do get ruffled?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they do. But then I'll just shake it off, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. Yeah, it's a quick ruffling.
Were you always like that? Where you were just always comfortable being yourself? Could you really be yourself all the time?
Hmm, that's a good question because as a kid, I was always quiet. I was by myself. You know, I was happy by myself. I didn't need the attention. I didn't need it. Yeah, yeah, and I didn't care who was in the room. It was like, okay, you're here, so what? So I think at an early age, I was detached.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and that continued through, or did you have a stage where you were, you went through that period of thinking you had to be a certain way with one person, another way with another person, another way with another person, where
Oh
you really could,
yeah.
because I think that's what I'm really talking about is being yourself
Hmm.
means being yourself with everybody.
Well, is there such a thing that you're the same with everybody? I think we're all different with everybody. I think we have a, I call it our representative.
Right. But
We have a representative.
is our representative allowing us to be also ourselves with those particular people?
I think we are. I think we're kind of, mixing up the, you know, being yourself, your vulnerable self, or your goofy self, or, um, with everyone. I don't think, hello, Nina. Thank you for
Right?
joining. So I don't think, because respect comes in, right? We do respect other people's values. We respect um, mm, their character. We respect, how they are. Because if I'm gonna be with, your mother, your mom, I would act a total different way because of the respect that I have. So I wouldn't just be like, I would be more like, oh, oh gosh. Yeah, I would not pay attention to that. I wouldn't pay attention to that. With somebody else, I'd be like, you better leave that, because there's certain respects.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah,
But you'd still be honest in and just being yourself and speaking your
yeah. It's
truth
just,
or
just levels.
down.
Yeah, because, I mean, with you, I'll be like, I can be myself,
Mhm,
myself. Um, with others, we are even careful as to how we speak and what words we use because of the respect of the other individual. Now, there's
mhm,
some other individuals that I'm very careful as to what I say.
mhm.
Yeah. It's out of respect. It's not that I'm not being myself. I am. I'm just respecting that individual.
Mm, and that's good. And what about when we talk about being yourself in the sense of, for example, you have an idea, you have an adventure, you wanna go down that path, you wanna create something, and you or you're with, you're around people that they're your family, friends, and you want to share with them something you're doing, and then they like may put you down, they may criticize what you're doing, they may not agree with what you're doing, and sometimes that can alter the way we interact with these people.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So we're not really being ourselves, because when we're around these people, we may feel that we have to conform to what their opinions or their ideas are. Now, I know you may find that a little difficult to understand, Zanetta, because I know you've done a lot of work on yourself. And so have I. Like, I I kind of get it now.
Mm-hmm.
But say back in the day when we have struggled with, family members, usually it's the people that are
Mm-hmm.
closest to us, the people that we really, really love and respect, and yet sometimes, because we're not believing in ourselves, we're actually self-sabotaging
Let me ask
our
this question
greatness.
because yeah, let me ask this question because I think when I ask this question, it's gonna kind of give a little crack to the boundary that we set. Um, do you really believe in what you do?
Yes, if you're asking me, I
Yeah,
would say
yeah,
yes, I do.
yeah,
I do.
yeah. So if you really believe in what you do, external don't matter.
You're right. In
So
theory, in
yeah,
theory,
so if you believe in what you're doing, right, and you're careful, or when you tell family, and then they'll say, "You never amount to anything. You, kind of thing. You need to find another job, or keep your daytime job, things like that." Um, And if you do kind of cower in, or kind of, mm, get hurt, get smashed, you know, then there's something there that is playing behind all of that. Because you believe in yourself, right? You believe in what you're doing and you believe in yourself. Where you need the hurdle is approval of others.
mm, exactly.
That's where that comes in. I don't need your approval. Did I ask for your approval? I'm just telling you what I'm doing. That's my response. You don't have a client yet. Who cares? Do you care? No, because this is not about you. This is me. We're not talking about you. We're talking about me. So when you kind of push that, push back on that, I don't need your approval. you know if you are so great at it, if you know what to say, oh, you're not going to be, well, then why don't you do it?
Mm,
Or, well, since you know so much as to where I'm going to fail, why don't you teach me? Because you know, please tell me. And what's the answer? Get out of here, I ain't got no time. Oh, now you ain't got no time. See, a lot of times, family, friends, there's this one word that comes up as to why they don't believe in you, or why they tear you down, or why they will criticize you, or
mhm.
why they will come on your show and embarrass you, or put comments and report you. All of it, one word: hate. Oh, Zanetta, no, that's too strong of a word. No, they hate me.
Mm,
They are hating. Why? Let me explain, because there's a psychology with hate. Hate is when you don't know how to do something and you've never done it before and you're faced with it. What's the first reaction? Oh, that's just dumb.
Mm.
Another reaction is, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to waste my time. Yep. No, nope. That that's just no. That's just ridiculous. So all of these other words start to come into play. Really, behind it is a hate, and we don't know how to handle it. So, what do? We hate it for no reason, and we don't know why. I won't do bungee jumping. That's just stupid. Putting a rubber band on your ankles and then jumping off. They're stupid. They're ridiculous. What are they? You know, because there's this hate, and behind that hate that is pushing the hate is fear.
Mm.
So there's a lot of emotions going on. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. So that individual, eh. So my technique is to detach. You ain't gonna put a fishing line on me to snip.
That's it. Cut it right off.
Cut
We
it
have
right
Nina
off.
here, and she's sharing something related to
Hmm.
this. I'd like to read it.
Yeah. I used to
I
try to get approval from people. I had to grow thick skin. An aunt even said to me, your little business is not going nowhere. But now her mouth is shut. Look at that. Yes. Yay. It's not
congratulate.
really so. I understand the terminology or the saying thick skin, um, because thick skin means that you can't feel. That's all it is. It's because if you have a callus, when you touch it, you really can't feel it, right? Because it's so hard. So, and then
Mm.
what do? You try to remove it because it doesn't belong there. So we use that terminology, thick skin. I understand where we're coming from, when it's said that, but here's a better way to say it. Instead of saying I now have thick skin, I now know how to confront people with my confidence.
Mm. Yes, confidence. That's
Confidence.
another key, a key element to stepping into your own skin, like being comfortable in your own skin, being
Yeah,
comfortable with yourself, to be
yeah,
able to be yourself.
right, right. So when you have confidence, I mean, you talk like, and then your eyes sparkle and you smile, and because you know the topic, you know the subject, and can nobody tell you any different. It's just
Mm.
like um, when somebody says, "Oh, you don't know me. You don't know me. So don't judge me. Don't say I won't or don't say I will. Only I can say that. You know, me, because I know me. When you know yourself, that's why it's so hard to be yourself. Why is it so hard to be yourself? Because we know the true us. We know. And we're trying to put a representative in front.
Mm. Exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to tell that representative to move over.
There's a time
Behind.
and a place. There's a time and a place, representative. Get up.
Get behind.
Yeah, yeah.
Step
So,
aside.
yeah. Have you ever heard anyone? back in the day, when you were young, especially family, and you've been away, and then you meet them again, you're all grown up, you're this grown Stefania, you're not Steffi, you're Stefania, and when they start talking to you, they're talking to the little girl.
Oh,
And you're like, I am not the new. You're responding that way, and then the response of the individual becomes, who do you think you are? You think you're all grown. I don't think I'm all grown. I am all grown.
mm,
Yeah, I'm not the same Zanetta. I'm not the same Zanetta 2 years ago. You're not the same Stefania 2 years ago. You have grown. You
yeah,
have enhanced. If you take a look at your old videos to compare it to now, different. If you take a look at your friends and who you used to hang out with to now, different. Why? Because you're growing.
yeah. And we outgrow, we do outgrow.
We do. Unfortunately, we outgrow our relatives, but we're stuck with them.
That is so true.
We're stuck with them.
That is so
You know,
true.
because with friends, you can easily drop them.
Yes.
Kinfolk, we can't.
We can't drop our family
No.
because fortunately or unfortunately, they're always around. However, we can look at these hurdles, these milestones
Mm-hmm.
we travel through in our journey of life as also as I should say, as teachers,
Mm-hmm.
because these people that push us and make us feel a certain way and, you know, push our triggers,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
know our password because we don't want to change it,
Right.
are also great teachers in our lives
They
because
are.
they can actually fuel us.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I have really learned to change my perspective as to how I view them.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than feeling hurt, because
Uh-huh.
that's our normal reaction, it's our normal human reaction is to feel hurt, to feel rejected, to feel pain, to feel less than, to feel not good enough
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because we don't know ourselves, right?
Right.
But these people, unbeknown to them, and if you can just, you know, shift your mindset and your perspective, excuse me, and what they're saying, you can actually take it as fuel to push you in a direction that is actually going to make you make some moves,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Yeah.
right? A bit like probably Nina, where she had her auntie, and I'm sure she went into, I'll show you, auntie, what I can do. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying she used that solely, all that energy just to show her what she could do, but that push, that form of rejection that she got from her auntie, you know, propelled her, I guess, to move
Mm-hmm.
forward and say,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
I can do this. I
Right.
believe in myself enough that I can do this. And if
Yeah.
I believe in myself enough to do this, then I can be myself to do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So, you said something important, and I would like to address it. I don't need to address it. I would like to address it.
Mhm.
Let's see. There we go. She said, "Oh, I love to prove the power of I can." Yes. I absolutely was like, she will eat her words. It gave me extra fuel. Yes, it does. Um, so you said perspective, um, and that's their perspective. So, perspective, when you change your perspective, um, because it's outer, perspective is outer. Remember that. Perspective is outer. Because from my perspective, I'm seeing this. You can't see it because this is the outer. So, through your perspective, you're only seeing what's around you, right? So, perception is totally different from perspective. Perception is what's going on inside of
Mm.
your strengths and your weaknesses will influence your perception. Your strengths and your weaknesses will affect your perception. Because if I see somebody and I see, oh, two people just, oh, they must be arguing. That's my perception because I internally, I've seen that before and I've seen that reaction before, and therefore my perception is they're arguing. Well, come to find out, they were singing to each other because it's the same emotion, it's the same, you know, kind of thing. So they're going back and forth doing this, like, oh, well, that was wrong. So now I have to go internally. I'm like, why did I see it that way? It's
Mm.
influencing. So perspective is like looking at the parking space that has the number 6. If I'm here, I'll see a 6. If you're over there, you'll see a 9. So that's your perspective. Yeah. So it's just outer. The perception.
Perspective. Perception is inner, perception is outer.
Yes. So, so when somebody tells you your little business is not going nowhere, that is perception, not perspective. So it's their inner whatever is being projected out to you.
Right. So when we change what's going on inside us, everything else changes, right?
Yes. Yes. So people's perception or perspective don't matter.
Amen. Say that again and say it louder.
People's perception and perspective don't matter. It don't. It don't. That is their opinion, and everybody can have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone can have one. And
Hmm.
it's okay, right?
Yeah. It's okay for people to not believe in you. It's okay for people to turn you down. It's okay for people to talk you down. It's okay for people to, not believe in you. It's okay. What's not okay is that you put yourself down, that you don't believe in yourself. Yeah, that's what's
Not
not
okay.
okay. Yeah.
Correct. And that is going to influence you being you, you
You
being
being you.
yourself. That is what's going to, yeah, because we are taking on board their perception.
Yes.
We are taking on board their perception
Yes.
and then making it our perspective.
Well said. Well said. Love it.
And when you break it down like that,
Hmm.
oh my God, it just simplifies everything,
Hmm.
doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. Yeah, it does.
But I wanted to go over, how do you actually, step in that power of being yourself? Like there's some steps. It just doesn't happen overnight, does it? Can it?
It can. It can. Why?
Mm,
Why? When you made a decision, you
mm.
know what? I'm gonna be happy today. Nothing's gonna stop me.
Right.
Uh, Megan, bye. So it's a
You're right.
decision.
However, what I'd like to reinforce on that, because the brain
Hmm.
is very habitual and we run on paradigms.
Hmm.
What are
Okay.
paradigms?
Break it down.
Programs.
Break it down.
Programs. They are programs that we repeat, run off.
Hmm.
It's like a program in a computer. You have a program, you install it, you download it into your computer, and it's set there for life
Mm.
until you actually go into where your programs are stored and you delete that program out of your system, out of your computer. You don't have that program anymore,
Hmm.
correct?
Hmm. So isn't that same thing as a decision?
No, because partially, okay, let me just break that up a little bit. Because some people are capable of making a decision, making a cut, detaching, snipping that hook that's coming for you from that fishing line, right?
Right.
Because they are programmed to know how to cut, how to sever, how to detach. They've actually got that program in them
Okay.
to do that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I understand. No, trust me. I know. I know. I know. I know. Okay.
You don't understand, or you do understand? I'm not
I, I can understand
right.
your perspective. I
Now, I'm not saying
don't
it's
mean.
not impossible to do.
Yeah.
However, for some people, it's not a very cut dry decision like that. Let's face it, it's because that's how they've been molded, that's how they've been programmed, that's the paradigm that's running through their mind.
Okay.
So for some people, they need to learn how to
New,
change that
new
paradigm,
program. Okay.
have a new program. Right.
So
And if it means having that little baby step in between, so be it.
yeah, it can be. Yeah. So if we're talking programs, right? I have a I have a colleague who calls me whenever she has something wrong with her computer. So I'll walk her through it. And she was like, Zanetta, you need to buy IT. I said, mm-mm. I'm savvy when it comes to computer, but I don't want to be a computer person because then I'll be talking to people that I don't want to talk to. So she was telling me about her program and how it is and how it's running. She said, I think I have a, this and that. I said, try this. And then it worked. I was like, okay. I said, well, try this. And it didn't work. I said, okay, I know what your issue is. It's not the software, it's the hardware. So the hardware, it's built in. So everything else is software. The reason why it's called software because you can download it and you can delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Hardware, you can't. You have to go to an expert in order to make some changes to the motherboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if it's hardware, if this is something hardwired in you, then you need to go to an expert. But if it's just software that has been downloaded, because you can click on something, you can talk to someone, and I'm using terminology of computer. Um, you can click on this and it'll say download the software now. So you'll download it and all that, and then you find out it's not the right software that you downloaded. So what do? Uninstall it. And it'll ask you if you want to uninstall all of it because there are certain programs or software that is just not that one, it has several.
Mm.
So you have to tell it, yes, I want it all uninstalled. So when we talk to individuals, it's almost like us clicking and saying, yes, download. So now we're taking what they have said and downloading it in us, which is a software, which is not a hardwire, which all we have to do is say, why am I, where did I? And if you just take an assessment, oh, the reason why I'm thinking like this is because that person, because of what they said, how they said it, they keep on saying it, and I clicked on it. That means I believed it. I bought into whatever they were saying. I bought into, because it's being repeated, 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 it must be, so I'll click. Then it downloads. And then when you realize, like we just said, baby steps, why am I having a hard time? Why? And then when you pinpoint it, oh, yep, uninstall, remove it. So whenever you see that program coming again, that software, you have now, I have, I don't know what you have, but I have Norton.
Protection.
Norton, yes, yes. So I have Norton, and Norton, every single time I download something or I open something, it always gives me this, it's safe to open. It's safe to do that. And then one of it was questionable. It's like, oh, we blocked you. We want to make sure first. Let us do a scan. So I was like, okay, do the scan. So
Not
that's
always
us.
reliable.
Yes, yes. So that's us. If we have the Norton, once we figure out what it is that is bogging us down, slowing us down, making us feel like that we're nothing, making us feel like that we're worthless, making us feel like we'll never have, the client or our business will never flourish, is because of that download. That person, we believed it. And when we do that, so then you'll now know that you'll scan it. You're like, oh, no, You can
Get
talk
rid of it.
all you want, but I'm not going to click. I'm not going to allow you. Talk all you want. Say whatever you got to say,
Mm.
but you're not going to be downloaded.
Super. I love it. I love the
Yeah.
breakdown of the soft drive and the hard drive.
Yes.
And you're right. When it comes to then altering the hard drive, that's when we need to seek help,
Professional. Professional.
professional help. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we could be pushing the wrong buttons as we're trying to work on our hard drive, which can hold us back even more.
Right. Yeah. You can do damage. She was like, well, maybe I'll just do. Go to the Geek Squad and tell them this. Tell them this. You need a higher RAM. They will understand you, and tell them that you need your computer cleaned. They will understand you. So go there and do that, and watch. When you turn on your computer, it'll right away. When you click on
Oh,
something, bam, bam, bam. Yeah. So she did, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is so brand new. Oh, I just feel like, yeah. Be careful because you can still wind up back where you
right,
were before if you're not careful."
right. And how do we not wind up where we were? You see, because um, the brain, being the hard drive,
Yes, that's hardwired, but you
is
can train the
hardwired,
brain though. Yeah, you can train the brain.
habitual, behavioral
Hmm. Yes,
patterns that keep running over and over. That's where, again, seeking professional help to help you, give you the tools
right.
as to how to handle certain situations when you can see it coming, when you feel it coming, or you start hearing something that's coming, depending what
Yeah, yeah.
sensory acuity you work off, run off. So yeah, that is so important. And another factor is, and this is what I've been doing of late, is really getting to know yourself. Really spending time with yourself.
Yes.
And when you hear people say, "Oh, I'm just like falling in love with myself again."
I'm sorry.
Sounds really cheesy, right? Or "I'm just going to marry myself." I've heard that too.
That's sick. I'm sorry. I'm being myself.
That's okay. You're allowed to. But I'm just saying, words people choose to, I guess, say that they're getting to know themselves. Falling in love with yourself and getting to know yourself are slightly different.
Well, I mean,
Would you say?
yeah, they are different, but um, y- y- mm, this is just my perception, along with my perspective. Um,
Uh-huh.
when you have to say I'm falling in love with myself, who are you trying to convince?
Yourself.
Really? Yeah. So that means you haven't fallen in love with yourself yet.
Mm. But you
Because
always have fallen in love with yourself from the very word go, as a baby.
right. I mean, who are you trying to convince? Really? Are you trying to convince yourself, or are you trying to convince somebody else? So, or I love myself so much. I'm gonna marry me again. Who are you trying to convince? You sound like okay. Go marry yourself. You sound like a lunatic. That's my opinion. That's my perception, and that's my perspective. Because
Mm.
I don't
And
need to
that's
convince anybody. I don't need to
Yeah.
convince anybody that I love myself. I don't need to convince or say anything that, oh, I love myself too much too. I don't need to say that. I'm just going to say no.
Right.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. When I went on a self discovery journey, that is when I realized I do not love myself as much. Then the journey began. Hmm. Oh, and that's the reason why people cannot or have a hard time being themselves
Exactly. Exactly.
because they don't like what they're going to see.
Hmm. Or they don't know who they are really. Like they're not done the work on self-discovery. They're not loving the completeness of themselves.
Hmm.
Every part, even the parts that we like to, emphasize the critical parts, the criticism of ourselves.
Hmm.
So I think that's such an important journey. And that's something,
It is.
let's face it, it's not taught in schools. It's not taught from an early age.
No, you are taught. I like what you said from the last time. You're, you live this lot, this long life of being taught how to do, what to do, when to do, and then you spend the rest of your life undoing it. This is the wrong, which is so true. You're trying to undo everything, because teachers will say you need to study or else you won't be nothing. You so now that's being taught. That's well, I don't like studying. I don't, that means I'll be dumb. No, no. I mean, majority of the inventions are created by accidents. Majority of the invention are done by accident.
Mm. Which aren't really accidents. They're part of the journey of creating. So
Yeah.
they just
Well, the
didn't
microwave.
expect.
Yeah, the microwave was they found out that it was working because the guy was walking by. He had chocolate in his pocket, and it melted, and it didn't do nothing to him. You're like, oh, oh, we can harness this. We can actually use this to cook something. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of inventions. The Slinky, the toy.
No,
That was
don't know
that
the
was.
slinky.
The Slinky. The it's like a brown thing, and then when you put it
Oh yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it'll
Jump.
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Right.
keep on doing it. That was a part for NASA. It was it
Really?
wouldn't work, and he just put it down, and then all of a sudden it just kept on. Why not make it a toy? Yeah, it was not meant to be a toy. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of things that are by accident. Um, so for to tell someone that because they don't study or they don't have an education, then that means they're dumb. No, no, nope. You
Exactly.
cannot base genius on education.
No, no. Did Nina just write something else? That is exactly
Yeah,
what I said. She wrote.
yeah, that's exactly what I said at the pageant when asked, "What will I tell my younger self?" I said to learn what love really is early on. We are always told "I love you," but we are not taught about the action behind the words. Mm, yeah,
We're
that's
not.
so true.
So
Yeah,
true. We are not taught the
yeah. When you
actions.
do the when you do the journey of self realization or self inventory or, trying to figure out who you really are, you'll find out, because that's what I found out. I found out I had my mom, my dad, my brothers, some of my friends, you know, some people that I despised were all living inside me. Y'all gotta go. All y'all. You'll find out. You'll find that, when uh, kids say, "I'll never be like my mother," and then they find themselves doing what their mother does or say what their mother say, and they're going to say, "Oh my God, I am my mother." Yeah, no, you're not. So you just declare that you are your mother. That means your mother is. Nope. I am unique. I am one. I am the only Zanetta. There might be
Yeah.
other people with the same name,
Mm.
but I'm the only me.
Mm. And isn't
Who's
that amazing? That's how amazing and beautiful and unique and magnificent that you are, that every one of us is.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
only one of
One of
you.
one. And even if I get cloned,
Yeah. It'll still
I'm
never ever be you.
nope, because
Exactly.
that's a duplicate. That's a copy. I'm the
Exactly.
original.
So if we just even think about that, wow, that is just so magnificent. We are so magnificent. We are so amazing.
Yes. And if you
So,
could only see that every day,
yeah.
every day, I am unique. I am one. I am, when they say 1 in a million, no, you're 1 in 7 billion.
Yes. Yes.
And
So true.
climbing.
And climbing. So that in itself can help you get out of that uncomfortable zone of being yourself. Because when you know that, whatever you do is just being yourself.
Yes.
You know,
And
you're not comparing
everything that
with
comes
anyone.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything that comes with you is just beautiful. It's amazing.
Mm. Oh my God. I'm just like really feeling it, just savoring that whole
Yeah.
moment of knowing that you are just so unique. And I think this is something we need to remind ourselves daily.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we remind ourselves of these, magnificent parts of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we are changing our paradigm.
Yes.
We're downloading new software.
Uninstall first. Uninstall the other software, then download
Uninstall
the new
and then
one.
download it. Right.
Yeah.
And if you're having problems with that, seek professional advice to get the hard drive fixed.
Yes. Yes.
The hard drive, the hard wiring
Yeah.
that has been instilled. So yeah, I love this. I love this
Yeah.
conversation. I love this whole topic. And yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past week or so. And
Yeah. That's wonderful.
disconnecting, detaching. In fact, I haven't even posted or anything. But that's okay because I've had to have this time to myself and yeah, just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. With with the software, even with the software when you want to uninstall and you don't know how. It's just like my friend. Um, she didn't know how to do it, but she knew enough to call me because she said, "Well, you used to do it when we worked together." You know, I was like, "Okay, what do you?" I don't know. You put too much, put too much stock on what I know. Um, so when I asked her, what was going on, I was like, "Oh, click here, click here, click here, and then right click that, click it again and again, and see if that works." But she had to do it on her own.
Mm.
And so she did it. She's like, "Oh my God, it works." But when it got to the point to where it was a hard drive issue, um, no, you literally have to go to the experts. I can't help you.
Mm.
Yeah. And sometimes we need to know when to send others. That's not my expertise.
Right.
Go to Stefania. She knows how to do all of that hypnosis stuff. No, not my forte. That's not mine. Nope. I can
Yeah.
talk to you until you're blue, but I cannot get into your psyche.
Mm. Yeah. And that's part of, you know, knowing yourself to say no, setting boundaries,
hmm Yeah,
and sticking to those boundaries as well.
sticking to yeah,
Sticking to them.
yeah.
Sticking to them. Well, wonderful. This has been a great conversation, Zanetta.
Yes, great topic.
That's
Great topic there, Stefania.
yeah, last night I thought, right, I'm going to write it all up, and this is exactly what I want to talk about this week. So, as always, you help kind of like bring it to light from all perspectives. Yeah. So
Yeah,
awesome, awesome, awesome. So next week, we not too far from Christmas, are we? Like
I
we're
know.
still on to next week, or do you have any engagements that you have to attend to?
Well, let's see.
I'm going
What
to check
is
with you.
next week's? Oh, it's the 15th. December 15th. Yeah, we can do the final until we break. So yeah, we can come back 15, the 15th. Yeah. Unless
Yeah.
you have some.
No, I live for Fun Fresh Fridays. I just like, yeah, it's my life. No, I do. Someone said to me, "Are you still doing that show with Zanetta?" I said, "Yes." Oh, I said, "Yeah, I love it. I enjoy hanging out with Zanetta on, you know, my Saturday morning and Friday night." But
Yeah.
yeah, we get to talk about a lot of things, and we get
Oh yeah.
our audience to also chime in, which is wonderful, and we enjoy it. Great
And
show, Nina
and
says.
let me tell you, I do know that we will have a studio and we'll be sitting, across from each other. Yes. We will have
Yeah,
the same weather. We'll have the same weather. We'll have the
mm,
same it's cold over here and it's summer over there. Yeah. It's winter over here, it's summer over there. It's summer over here, it's winter over there. No, we're gonna have the same weather.
I know. Isn't that amazing? In the same
Yeah.
studio, that'll be fantastic. A full-on
Yeah.
studio
A
with
full
couch
on studio.
chairs and our mics and yeah,
Yes.
we've got to manifest it. It's going to be happening. And Nina says, what did she say? Great show.
Have
And
a have a wonderful evening.
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So As always, we love hearing your comments. We love hearing your insights. Feel free to comment, chat, ask us questions, agree,
Mhm.
disagree, whatever it is, you can do it all.
Yeah.
And yeah, believe in yourself. Do that
Believe.
thing you want to do, whatever it
Yeah.
is. Nothing's too big or small. It's your idea. Believe in
Yeah.
yourself enough to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Get it,
Yeah.
create it, manifest it,
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yeah. And if I want to leave you with something before we close, is that people can doubt you. People can not believe in what you're doing. People can tear you down, talk down to you, and all of a sudden my throat is itching. Hold on.
Yeah, have a drink.
And it's okay. But the one person that cannot do that is you.
Hmm.
Cannot do that. You
No.
need, if anybody needs to believe in you, it should be you. If
Yes.
anybody, wants to lift you up, it should be you. Yeah. There's a scripture in the Bible where it's in Second Samuel, I believe, or Second Samuel, Kings. I'm sorry, Second Kings, where it says David encouraged himself.
Mm.
Keep that up.
Repeat that again, please, just a little louder.
Yes,
David.
David encouraged himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what we need to do.
yes. Believe in you, have
Encourage yourself.
confidence in you,
Hmm.
encourage yourself because you are unique. You are 1 in 7 billion and counting.
Right. Oh my God.
She said she's studying Second Kings this month. It's a good
Wow.
read. It's a good one. I love David. David is David is. I had studied David throughout his life, um, from being a shepherd to being the ruddy of all of the brothers who were, you know, military grade. Oh, good thing there's a straw. Military grade. His brothers were military grade, and he was not. David is that dude. Yeah, yeah, he was not. He was even um, uh, talked down by his father. Yeah, because when Samuel came to his home and said, there's going to be a king, and God has chosen the king, and he had all of his sons. Jesse laid out his sons, and the oil would not come out. It would not, because it wasn't for them. And Nathan said, "Surely there's somebody. There's got to be somebody. Do you have another son?" "Oh yeah, he's out in the field, but he's kind of ruddy. He's kind of rough on the edges. He is not fit to be a king. He is not king material." That's what basically his father was saying. He didn't say all of that, but basically that's what he was saying. "Oh, he's out in the field tending to the sheep, and he's a little ruddy."
Wow.
And he said, call him in. And when David came in, that's when the oil flowed. Yeah. From that to, yeah, I studied David. David is a great example of how to handle stress, how to handle adversity, how to admit when you're wrong,
Mm.
um, when you have gone to the path of being puffed up and mighty and saying, "Oh, I'm king." Yeah, yeah. So David is a great one of the great uh, characters in the Bible that I did an in-depth study, and I learned. Yeah, because David was given a choice because he had sinned. He had sinned against God. He was given a choice. He was given a choice to be given to man. There was other choices. Then the other choice was to be at the mercy of God, who was very angry at him because he sinned. And he was like, if I give myself to the hands of men, they might really kill me because some of them hate me. I will take my chances with God.
And so he did.
He did because he knew David knew God, and he knew he would be safer with God than
Mm.
with him. Doesn't that tell you something?
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah,
Very, very powerful.
yeah.
Well, maybe we should have a session on something like that. Sounds good. Taking some bits and pieces of, not making it a religious thing, but, these are all things that we apply to everyday modern living.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how they're going to fortify us and strengthen us to being better people. And, knowing that whatever we've gone through, whatever contrast or adversaries we've traveled through, is only fortifying us
Right. Yeah,
because he went through all that too, right? So
he did.
about being, we say here, goody good shoes.
Oh, here's Goody Two Shoes.
Goody. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Oh, great. Well, thanks for sharing that, Zanetta. You're
Yeah.
always profound when you share bits and pieces like that, scriptures. And I see Nina also is a um, avid reader and studies the Bible, which is good.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that listen to us and do that, and that's great because I love the fact that you can extract things from the Bible and bring it into modern day living. It's the same
Oh
thing.
yeah,
It's the same thing. People
yeah.
go, "Oh, Bible," like they just get anti, get all funny, but really, a lot about modern books and self-help books, and I mean that's just a new terminology they've using, but they're
Hmm.
like extracts from the Bible, simplified in language, obviously, because the Bible,
Right.
is in parables or
Hmm.
read between. That's why they say studying the Bible is something else, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because uh, I can, use terminology like, oh, you have to do an exegesis and the eisegesis, and you have to do the, dispensations. I can throw out all those terminologies, but what is that going to do? It's going to do nothing.
It's going to
So you
break.
have to look, yeah, you have to look at the Bible in a perspective of what is it like during that time. So you have to take a look at it and say, is this historical? Is this, is this a parable? Is this, so you have to kind of break it down a little bit, kind of extract
Mhm.
from what. So you can't just use scripture to tear people down,
No.
because it's not meant like that. It's not meant for that. So Nina says it's the favorite book. So here's the thing: the bestseller. Here's a fun fact about Jesus. He did not write one thing, nothing, from cover to cover. He never wrote it, he never authored it, but yet he is known worldwide, and that book is the best seller of all times. It has not been surpassed. Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
that's a fun fact. He never went to college, he never went to, but yet he's the topic of all theologians.
He is. He is.
Yeah, so there.
Take that
Yeah,
to the bank.
take that to the bank. Yeah, and to think this, just that perspective, and to think that he says that he loves you blows your mind. I mean, yeah, he had you in his mind.
Hmm. All the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. So there's your a little bit of theology
In the show. In the
in the
show.
show.
Exactly. So thank you once again, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining and tuning in and on the replay.
Yes. Hashtag replay.
And for those that, for the lovely trolls, we haven't talked about you in a while. But thank
No,
you. Thank you.
we
Thank you,
haven't.
trolls. We love you.
We do love you. We do love you.
Yeah.
Because we haven't spoken about you doesn't mean we've forgotten you. We love you
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
So, yes, Anetta, as always, we
Yes.
send everybody lots of love.
And passion. Until
Yes.
next time.
Bye for now.